What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome into the Bulls Report. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, we got an update on the Golden State Warriors trading for Zach LaVine. It's actually unfortunate news for Bulls fans. It's looking like they are out, so we'll give you guys those quotes here in a second. And then also, I was checking out the Orlando Magic and how the roster's shaking out heading into the year, and I think Wendell Carter could be on the trade block. So it doesn't make sense for the Chicago Bulls. I'll give you guys my thoughts on that and more coming up here in a second. But speaking about Zach LaVine, I just want you guys to be honest with me down in the comments section. What are your honest thoughts about Zach LaVine? Write me a paragraph. Write me your whole thoughts, because I think Bulls fans are pretty split down in the middle on their true feelings about him. So I'm just curious, trying to get a pulse of the fan base on this one. Let me know your thoughts on Zach LaVine. But speaking about Zach LaVine possibly heading to the Bay Area. So I said on the channel multiple times that if the Golden State Warriors miss out on Lauri Markkanen, that I could see them shifting their attention to Zach LaVine. Well, yesterday, Lauri Markkanen agreed to a massive long-term deal with the Utah Jazz, which makes him unable to trade for the entire 2024-25 season. So they are out on Lauri Markkanen. So could the Warriors want Zach LaVine? I was making the case that, getting another three-level scorer, a very, athletic guard next to Steph Curry could work out for Golden State. Well, unfortunately, Shams Charania had this report on them trading for LaVine. He says Warriors maintain control of all but one of their future first-round picks, a 2030 top 20 protected pick outgoing to Washington, plus a young quartet of Podziemski, Trace Jackson-Davis, and Moody, and Jonathan Kuminga, providing flexibility. But this is the kicker for the Bulls. They've shown no appetite to enter the Zach LaVine or Brandon Ingram market. And listen, as this offseason has gone on, and we have heard different reports on LaVine, on Nikola Vucevic, it just is looking more and more likely that both of these players will be on the team for the start of the 2024-25 NBA season, and I think that would be the Bulls screwing themselves. I have said the number one goal for the Bulls this upcoming season is to make sure your own draft pick does not convey to the San Antonio Spurs. It is top 10 protected. And with where the Bulls have landed in the Eastern Conference over the last two seasons, being the 9th seed, winning around 35 to 40 games, that pick will end up in San Antonio. And LaVine and Vooch, whatever you think about them, they're good enough players to get you to at least 30, 35 wins, and you're really rolling the die of that pick heading to San Antonio. I just think the Bulls, as this offseason has gone on, it's been a pretty good offseason so far, but if you can't move LaVine and Vooch, you might be screwing yourselves for the future. But we also got a report from Joe Cali, very tapped in with the Chicago Bulls, saying that they are still actively trading the two. They said, of course, all of this can change if Karnisovas can move LaVine or center Nikola Vucevic. Two moves he continues actively pursuing. But with very few landing spots left, Karnisovas is running out of time. And guys, it's tough being a Bulls fan right now, because I was very optimistic about a month and a half ago, after the Alex Caruso, Josh Giddey trade, and I was like, damn, the Bulls are really going towards this youth movement. You signed Jalen Smith. You got the draft pick of Modest Buzelis, which I absolutely love, and I was finally thinking this rebuild and youth movement is finally here. But now if I had to call it, we're still going to be stuck with LaVine. We're still going to be stuck with Vooch. And if your starting lineup, and mainly your backcourt of Josh Giddey, Kobe White, and Zach LaVine, offensively that would be a ton of fun. But I don't think those three could guard me on the basketball court, and I think the Bulls would be giving up 130 points a game. I just, it's just very disappointing right now. But I do have 4 trade destinations for LaVine. I still think if there's any team that could trade for Zach, would be the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, I think if you're the Lakers front office here and you're watching the Olympics and seeing how dominant LeBron James and Anthony Davis has been, and you could, you have the probability of getting a third scorer, a tertiary star next to those two. You got the Clutch Sports connection. I still think if I had to put my money on a team besides the Bulls where LaVine is playing next season, it's probably Los Angeles. But what about the San Antonio Spurs? And my argument here to the Spurs would be, talk about LaVine's red flags. The defense and the leadership, or I guess, and the contract as well. Well, you still got Wemby on his rookie deal, and Wemby's also one of the best defensive players in the league, and you have the culture that Greg Popovich has instilled in San Antonio, so I don't think LaVine's leadership would be an issue there. I could see them hopping involved, but what about the other LA team, the Clippers? Now, I think they have actually had a poor offseason. Obviously losing Paul George was huge. I like their moves on the margins of like Derrick Jones, like those types of guys. But, they still need a third star to compete in that Western Conference. Maybe Zach LaVine is that guy. Now, I do want to throw out the Orlando Magic here, and this is a team that I think could be more of the trade deadline move. Don't think they're going to trade for him before the season just because of their additions of KCP and the other guys. But, let's just say KCP doesn't work out and he doesn't live up to that massive contract and they want to add that third star next to Franz and Paolo. Keep your eyes out on them. Again, Magic very, very unlikely. But, again, it's tough to find Zach LaVine trade destinations. Honestly, the only one I realistically see going down is the Lakers, but I guess these three could be dark horses as well. But I want you guys to get down in the comment section for me. Grade the Bulls offseason. I understand mixed feelings amongst Bulls fans right now, but get out those red pens, grade it for me. Give me an A, B, C, D, or F down in the comment section. If I had to give you guys my grade right now, I'm probably going B-. I still have liked some of the moves they have made, but you still got LaVine and Vooch on the roster, and those are my top two priorities heading into the offseason is trading those two, and it still is yet to be done. But coming up next year, I do want to talk about the possibility of maybe the Bulls trading for Wendell Carter during the season. I'll give you guys my thoughts on that here in a second. But first off, I want to tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, and that is Game Time, the best ticket purchasing app out there right now. And if you guys use promo code ChatSports, we will hook you guys up with $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, but $20 off if you use promo code ChatSports. And if you guys are looking to go to a Cubs or White Sox game this summer, you are in luck. Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch. And with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. And my favorite feature of the Game Time app is the views from your seat. So you can make sure your view is not going to be obstructed by a foul ball pole or whatever it may be when you're trying to get tickets to your favorite event. So download Game Time today. Use that promo code ChatSports, and we will hook you guys up with $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, but redeem code CHATSPORTS, and you'll get $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. I'll put that link for you guys in the comments section and description of today's show. But check them out. Number one in the business. And yeah, you guys won't regret it. Shout out to Game Time. Now let's talk about it. Should the Bulls bring back former Bulls legend Wendell Carter? Whenever I think of this era of Bulls basketball where it was Wendell, Lauri Markkanen, and that crew, the number one thing I think about is how good they have been on their new teams and how bad they were on the Chicago Bulls. But maybe ask yourself, why would the Magic even consider trading Wendell Carter? Well, they already have a pretty solid center rotation without him. And, they paid Mo Wagner and Goga Bitadze this offseason. So I think it's a little bit of an indication that they're probably going to prefer those two as the centers of the future instead of Wendell. As they gave Wagner $11 million, they gave Goga $9 million, and maybe Wendell, they could be looking to trade him at this year's NBA trade deadline. But hey, if the Bulls are still able to move off Vooch, maybe you're able to get a 3-team trade to the Pelicans or whatever it may be, I would be all in on Wendell Carter, because I think if you talk about the center rotation the Bulls could have with Jalen Smith and Wendell Carter, you got two guys who can both protect the rim, two guys who can both shoot the three, and you can even run big lineups playing them both at the same time. And I'll tell you what, Wendell, ever since he's left Chicago, he's been fantastic, man. I mean, he was a 15-a-game guy in 2021 and the 2022 season, and he's actually upped his three-point shooting ability. This past season on 3.9 attempts per game, he shot 37.4% from downtown. Fantastic. He plays the game the right way. He's an energizer when he's out there on the basketball court. And those above-the-break threes are just so key in terms of modern-day offense in the NBA, and he hits them at a very high clip. And speaking about modern day, I think he is the perfect modern-day center. Like when you have a guy who has the ability to stretch the floor at the 5 or 4 spot, but then also can protect the rim and be a plus defender, like that is everything these NBA GMs want in terms of when they're creating this modern day offense. I mean, look at the Celtics this past season. How deadly were they when they ran that 5-out system? But what made them so special was Porzingis and Al Horford. They can protect the rim, but also space the floor offensively. That's what Wendell is. And he also fits the youth movement. I feel like Wendell has been in the league for damn near 10-plus years at this point, but he's only 25 years old. So that would give the Bulls 11 players under the age of 26. More, ammunition to this youth movement for Billy Donovan and the crew. So if we could somehow move off Vooch, give me Wendell Carter. I would absolutely love it. But hey, maybe you guys disagree with me. Let me know your thoughts. Would you trade for Wendell Carter? Give me a Y for yes or an N for no down below in the comments section. I'm doing it, obviously, for the right price. Bulls cannot give up any of their own future first-round picks. Should have said that earlier. But, hey, bring back Wendell. Why not? But also, if you guys want to give me a follow on Twitter, that's a handle right there, at Pat Sieps. Yeah, if you guys do so, I'll give you guys a follow back. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, go Bulls.